Yo, what's happening? Houston, this is the place to be, and I am DMC in the place to be with my man Brad Gilmore and the one and only, the champ, the man Booker T. So let's get it poppin'.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the six-time World Heavyweight Champion, two-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the BOAT, Brad Gilmore, as they discuss everything from inside the ring to the backstage and beyond. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champion, two-time Hall of Famer, man. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me as always. Getting ready to do it. Coming to you live from ESPN 975-925. I want to thank all the people joining inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams, man. Coming off a big weekend. NXT deadline went down, and had a great time. As well as I had a little signing. Had to sign a few of those Funko Pops, man. It was really cool. So, but nah, man, great weekend for me. This has been a great start of a week as well. But how you doing, Doc?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. You know, I'm with you. I enjoyed the weekend. You know, I think I said this a couple weeks ago. Like, December's a slew of birthdays in my family. You know, got to kick it with some of the fam on Saturday and Sunday. You know, nice conversations, relaxed. Got to take in NXT deadline. That was a fun time. And you know what? I got great news today too. I got phenomenal news. My plumber came by and fixed the sinks. Look at that. That was good news for me.
When you're a homeowner, man, that's big. That's like when you start talking about drywall, that's when you know you all the way in it. You know what I'm saying? I never thought about drywall coming up. You know, but when you buy a home and you get some water up top there, you know what I mean, there's a leak inside. You got to get that drywall there. You got to get it all repainted, surfaced, and all that, whatever that means. But no, man. But I get it, dog. I get it. 100%.
Spackle's a word I never said before. You know what I mean? That's a new word for me.
Now, as you
get older, put some spackle. You're gonna float that right there.
As you get older, you're gonna let it free more.
Colonoscopy. Oh, I haven't heard this before. No, but also personal accomplishment that I do like to share with the audience. I also completed my master's degree over the weekend. Oh. And so on this Saturday, I'll officially have my master's degree from the University of Alabama. So shout out to all the great professors over there.
Congrats on that, man.
Appreciate that, BT.
That's big news, man. All you young people out there, get your education. I always say, man, that's that's something I really feel like I missed out on. Something I wanted. Something I wanted was to. I wanted to be a lawyer. That's something I wanted to be, but just wasn't in the right situations as a kid coming up. And I can't blame anybody for it. I'm not sitting here blaming anybody or anything like that. But my situation was very toxic, and sure. I lost my focus. And I always say that's my biggest regret in my life, not walking on that stage with my peers on that night. So, man, congratulations, man. Seriously.
I appreciate it, Book, but also, you know, when you think about the impact that you have had to have throughout your career, and you're probably not surprised that I'm about to tell you this, but like when I have friends and I have like some close friends who like, you know, go through hard times and stuff like that, and they their challenges and they question themselves and question their career paths. I go to YouTube, I type in Booker T documentary, I copy the link from your biography, and I send it to them. I say, watch this, and then tell me you're not motivated. Tell me you can't get through stuff in life. You're right. If all the things that you overcame, you were able to do it and sit here to tell the tale about it, you know, anybody can accomplish, you know, whatever they set out to do in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
whether they have that diploma in their hand or not.
Yeah, I know it, man. You know, it's just something I wish I could have did. You know, it's something I feel like I really missed out on that because you don't get a chance to go back and do it again from that perspective. You can try to recreate it, but it's something that you can really, really never get back. That's why I'm really, really particular about moments.
Right.
When I talk about moments all the time, and you hear me say that word a lot, on television, when I'm doing commentary, moments, because a moment is something that's going to be there and it could be gone in the blink of an eye, and it may never come back, so you got to really, really think about those moments in life, as young people. So just a word from the wise. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, definitely, I saw someone giving a sermon, and they say he was talking about how it's important to be present in your life, right? But not just present, but connected. He said he went to sleep the night before, and he had his phone at his bedside, and he forgot to plug it in. And when he woke up, the phone was dead. He said, "My phone was present, but it wasn't connected." Right? It was there, but it wasn't being in the moment. And
Yeah.
it's so easy to think about the mistakes of the past or to think about what you want to do in the future and have the future goals motivate you. But sometimes you got to really wake up and thank, God for the day, right? Think of,
Yes, indeed.
hey, let's get this day done. Let's do it. Do it to the to the utmost,
I know you. I knew you was gonna say that. To the utmost, baby.
So,
Oh, man,
and I know we can't speak on it, but I'm just so excited about the multiple like great things that are going on, not just for this show and all the great sponsors that we have on this show now and our radio network home at ESPN, but also what reality wrestling is doing, continuing to grow on YouTube, pushing to 800,000, which we should get here into the next couple months. We have great television partners with CW and a lot of other affiliates across the country, and it's only going to get bigger. I know we can't speak on anything, and I don't want to speak on it till the ink's dry, but just things are looking up.
No, we talked about it as far as reality wrestling in 2024. Hopefully, it's going to be our year, man. And we talked about it, and we talked about it, and it seemed like it's coming to fruition. And man, I'm just so I'm thankful. I'm thankful because we've been doing this thing for nearly 20 years now. We've had the wrestling school, the wrestling promotion. We've had several years as well, and it's only been growing and growing and growing. Our talent has just been getting better and better and better. I think about the Gigi Rays and the Promise Braxtons, Ruthless Ryan Davidsons, in Japan right now as we speak. I saw Promise, she posted something, and she was at one of the dojos, and it just literally took me back to my first trip, man. I swear to God, that's what it took me back to, more seeing Ruthless Ryan Davidson, receive his first Ribera jacket. And I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me. How cool is this? So what we've built, man, and where we're going with reality wrestling, we want just everyone out there to stay tuned to reality wrestling, and I tell you, jump on board with reality wrestling. Try to find it, look at it. Let us know what you think about it. Whether you like it or not. If we need to change it, we need to hear you. We need to hear you. More importantly, be a part of the Row Nation because we're growing at an astronomical pace. And 2024, guys, it's going to be all about the Row.
Yeah, and you know what? Like you just said, I do encourage people to jump in the comments section, jump in the chat, watch reality wrestling, give us your feedback because feedback's how you grow. Feedback's the way you get better. It's cool. I always tell people they're like, well, what sets reality wrestling differently than anybody else? I said, well, you go to any indie show in the world, for the most part, when the guys walk back through the curtain, the promoter's sitting there and they go, hell of a match, kid. And that's about all feedback you get. Now there might be a veteran or something there you can call aside who watched your match and give you some game, but the promoter's going to be like, hell of a match, kid. At reality wrestling, you get feedback. You know what I mean? And not only, hey, here's what you did well. Here's what you messed up on. This is why that's a mess up. Here's how you correct it the next time. This is what you should have done. And illuminating them and showing them the right way. And then not just saying, you effed this up. You know what I mean? Hey, you effed it up, but here's why.
Yeah. No, that's important for me because I know how it was when I first got into the business. I know how you didn't have a lot of people looking out for you. A lot of people didn't want you to make it. A lot of people wasn't, it wasn't, for your best interest. A lot of times it was just to fill a spot on the show. And I said it, a long time ago. I said I'm going to open school, and I'm going to give these young people I always say just a half of a chance. I don't say a full chance. Give them a half of a chance get a springboarding into this business, because it's rough. It's rough, and for me, I'm fortunate. I'm so fortunate. But a guy named Bruce Kasarch, we got to go to break. Named Bruce Kasarch, he gave me a shot. He put me through wrestling school, and he said, I don't want any money back. I just want you to pay it forward one day. And boom, here we are, reality wrestling 20 years later. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. The Hall of Fame podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. What's up, everybody? It's your man, Booker T, along with my main man, Brad Gilmore. And we're back with another episode. And today, we want to talk to you about something that's incredibly important, especially during this time of the year.
That's right, Booker. As we head into the end of the year, it's the time for reflection, joy, and sometimes for a lot of us, a lot of stress. The holidays can be overwhelming for many, and it's okay to admit that.
Look, this time of the year can be a lot to handle, and it's natural to feel some sadness or anxiety, but we've got something positive to share with you today.
That's right, Book. It's therapy. It's a bright spot amid all the stress and change. Something you can look forward to. Something that can make you feel grounded. Something that equips you with the tools to manage everything that life throws at you.
And when it comes to therapy, we've got the solution for you, BetterHelp. It's convenient, flexible, and entirely online. You can match up with a licensed therapist who fits your schedule, and you can even switch therapists at any time at no extra cost.
The best part is it's so easy to get started. You just fill out a brief questionnaire just like I did. I went through the process myself. It helped match me with a licensed therapist who will help me and can help you on your journey to personal growth and well-being.
And here's the kicker, folks. You can get started today and receive 10% off your first month by visiting BetterHelp.com/Booker T. That's right, BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/Booker T.
You deserve to find your bright spot this season, and BetterHelp is here to help you do just that. Don't wait. Take that positive step towards a brighter future. The Hall of Fame podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. BetterHelp, professional, affordable, and convenient online counseling.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys, man? Oh, yeah, they went out there and did them boys up. The Eagles didn't have a chance. Them Cowboys, man, Dak Prescott, MVP. People talk, hey, there he already, look here. People are already talking about Dak being the MVP. You know what I mean? Get a brother his props. Get a brother. And you know what they say? Is no quarterback in Dallas ever won the MVP trophy. Not even Roger Staubach. Not even Troy Aikman.
Well, because they're in Dallas.
Not even Danny White.
Yeah.
But no, man. But Dak, give him his props, man. Give him his props. This boy.
Whoa. Are you off the Stroud train now? Like all of a sudden you're off CJ Stroud because he had one bad game?
Look here, it's not like I can't like two players. They're both from Texas.
But yeah, right? But only one can be the MVP. It's not most valuable players.
No, Stroud gonna be rookie of the year.
He's got that locked up. But MVP, no, he ain't finna get that. He ain't finna get that. Dak is gonna get that spot. He's gonna get that nod. And me personally, I'm happy for him because I've always been a Dallas fan, man. I've always been a huge Dallas fan. Of course, I represent Houston. But we ain't winning nothing. We ain't been. We're having a winning season right now.
Well, we're above 500. Let's just say that.
It's a winning season.
Yeah, let's just say that. But second place, third, fourth place, man, ain't nobody thinking about that. We talking about scoring big. When we talk about scoring big, we talking about Super Bowl aspirations. Do you think that the Texans are Super Bowl ready right now? To be honest,
no.
Exactly my point. So I'm talking about Dallas. Dallas got a shot. Dallas got a shot at making it to the big dance. America's team, you know what I mean? As well as not just America's team, they represent Texas.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So we gotta back their play, man. You gotta back their play. That's just part of the deal.
Look here.
Look here. Texans go down. Who you ride with?
Well, probably the Cowboys. Yeah,
See,
probably the
my
Cowboys.
point made.
The Texas team. Yeah.
My point made.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? We'll see. We'll see. But I came up in the generation where, you know, the Dallas was no longer America's team. You know, they were.
Wait a minute.
They were used to be.
When wasn't Dallas
Now, what do you mean?
America's team?
Right now, they're not America's team.
What are you talking about?
They've been America's team for 20 years.
You still say it on a weekly basis when they play.
They say it. Nobody else says
Look,
it.
just because you jumped off the train, don't mean
I was never on the train.
Look, who plays on Thanksgiving? Every Thanksgiving.
The Detroit Lions.
And who else?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Exactly my point.
Did you see Dolly Parton, by the way, at the halftime show at the Dallas game on Thanksgiving?
I did.
What was your assessment?
For an 80-year-old woman, she still looked good.
She looked damn good.
She's still keeping herself together. And look here, I ain't mad at that.
No,
I mean, if I was Dolly Parton's husband, she's still running around trying to keep it together, I ain't gonna be mad, But I know a lot of people, get upset about that. Man, why this old lady out here dressed like that? No, man, she can still run it. You know what I mean? So, no, seriously.
Do it. Yeah, no, I didn't have a problem with it.
She wouldn't do it.
That's what her husband was like. Hey, wait a minute. I was listening to the Hall of Fame. I heard about that blue chip. You know what I mean? He's smart. He got smartened up. He said, "Hey, Dolly, why don't you put on that cowgirl outfit tonight?"
Yeah, I like it. Oh, yeah.
I like it. Oh, yeah, man. Well, I know we have a bunch to get into today. There's some, contract rumors out there about, the world heavyweight champion. There's NXT deadline to talk about. There's a lot going on. Book, but I feel like we should start NXT deadline because you were there on Saturday. Great show, as all the NXT PLEs have been. I think they're on a really great run right now. Of awesome shows. Shout out to all the Iron Survivors who competed in those matches. Tough match to put together, I'm sure, but a fun match to watch as a fan. Big ups Trick Williams, of course. But I mean, look, the chat's been talking about it. You already know where this is going to go. They're already in there. They're like, somebody super chat the question. They're asking somebody to ask you about it. So we might as well address the elephant in the room. There was a surprise guest at the PLE on Saturday. None other than Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk. He got in the ring there with old Shawn Michaels. They took a selfie together, even though he was wearing a Bret Hart hoodie. And people want to know, did you have any interactions with CM Punk?
CM Punk wasn't hiding. He wasn't hid away in some room, making a surprise appearance. Nah, he was running around, mingling. And I ran into CM Punk in catering. And he was sitting there talking with a couple of friends of mine. One from one of my old TNA members, Jeremy Borash. Jeremy.
Yeah.
And I got me a little something, a little meal. I think I got a turkey leg or something, and I sat down. But before I sat my food down. But before I sat down, I walked up to CM Punk and I said, "CM Punk, what up, man?" And he stands up and he goes, "What's up, man? You flip-flopper?" And I go, "You know how the business is. Sometimes you're a heel, sometimes you're a baby face. But welcome home." And it was actually pretty cool, man. We actually talked, even after that, I was just talking about, small talk, whatnot. But he seems to be at peace, man. He seems to be, ready to rewrite the legacy of CM Punk and finish this thing off properly. And that's and I said, how many times have I said it, man? No matter how many times you think it, you may not want to do that. At the end of the day, we all want to get a chance to finish this thing right, and then thank the fans for that ride. So he seemed like he was in a great space, man. He really did. I can't say anything bad about him. I know people wished that I would say something bad about CM Punk. But nah, man, and I ain't kissing ass or anything like that either. It's just that he seemed like he was in a calm space.
Did he seem different from, you got to work with him on backstage, and now, I mean, that was when he was on the outside still. Now he's back in. Did you notice, is there a noticeable difference? Because I will say, from like watching him on TV, he actually seems different. And I promise you, I'm not just saying this. And I know people are going to say, oh, it's because he's in WWE now. He seems like different on the WWE show than he did in the AEW show just 3 months ago. He seems like a different like I'm not making this up. He seems like a different person.
I know exactly what you mean. And I don't know, people can say, oh, he's just working or whatever. I don't know. You remember what I said when he did the promo? I said it seemed heartfelt to me.
Yeah.
I said it looked like, he kind of, could have, got caught up there for a second, just thinking about being back in that moment, because you really don't know how the fans are going to accept you when you do come back. And then when you do come back, it's like, wow, they still love me. It's one of those type of deals. And you go, wow, it's, let me go to work type of deals. But that's what I felt. That's what I felt more than anything. When I saw him on Saturday, it was, the regular CM Punk that I always knew. And the thing is, people can say it, over and over, time and time again, that they feel like I got some kind of a beef with CM Punk. I've never had a beef with CM Punk.
Yeah.
Not once. I've never had a beef with CM Punk. I've never gotten to the point to where I've said something, negative to the point to where I want to fight CM Punk. Some stupid stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just, no. It's like, nah, man, this is about business. When he said, he's not here to make friends, he's here to make business. But in this kind of business, you got to have friends in order to make business, in order to do business. In other words, you know what I mean? Because you're working with a lot of guys that you're going to have to, trust when you're out in the middle of that ring with. It's not like, a UFC fight where, you don't have to care about each other. In this business, you have to find, you got to be able to care about the guys that you're working with. It's just that simple. There's no way around it. And if you don't, it's going to show. It's going to show very, very quickly. You're not going to last very long. And the thing is, that's not something I have to tell CM. I'm not saying that to CM Punk at all, because he knows that. He knows that.
Yeah, of course.
It's the reason why things didn't work out in AEW, because a lot of those guys probably didn't care about each other. Right?
Facts. No, absolutely. Now, let me ask you this before we go to break, though. How'd you feel about being called a flip-flopper?
I am a flip-flopper. Sometimes. All right. Sometimes I am, but that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I'm a flip-flopper in the way of, sometimes I see things one way, sometimes I see things the other way.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all.
And that's good, but that's a good quality.
It's nothing personal. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I know we probably got our super chatters out there.
Super chatters are coming in, but you know what? We were talking earlier in the show about encouraging people to give feedback, on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Leave comments. I would like, though, to take just a second just to break something down for some of our great viewers and regular watchers of the Hall of Fame, because there is a persistent comment / criticism / critique / bit of feedback that we are offered a lot on the comment section of this show. And I just want to illuminate people as to the reasons why. I don't know if you know this, book, but this is the comment on every video, either in the live chat or afterward, that we get for this show. They say, and I quote, "Why are there so many ad breaks?" Okay, great question. Let me tell you, because they pay us money. It's pretty simple. This is a show that we're not just talking for our health. It has an audience that has attracted advertisers, and therefore we get advertiser revenue. So if anybody asks why y'all pushing Blue Chew, BetterHelp, Miracle Made, Manscaped, AG1, it's because there's a check involved in it. But also, and this is honest, we use all the product.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Miracle Made got some of the best sheets you're ever gonna have. I mean,
I get mine Thursday. I ordered some myself.
Of course, they sponsor the show, but damn it, you get some of them sheets, you're gonna be sleeping like a baby, dog. As well as the AG1. AG1 is something I take on a regular basis, I believe. And I was just talking to a friend of mine just Saturday, and I was talking to him about it, and he started taking it. And he was like, "Bro, this stuff has changed the way I look at, my health. It really does." And of course, Blue Chew. You better chew and do it, man. Strap a rocket on, send you straight to the damn moon. I'm serious, dog. No, so of course, it helps the show. It's revenue for the show. It helps to keep us doing this on a regular basis as well.
Well, and you know what, too? Like, and honestly, like every product they send it before, and I know every show says this, but it's actually true. Like we try everything out. We want to make sure that we like it. We want to make sure we can speak to it from a realistic perspective. AG1's been one that's been really great. I like the Manscaped stuff that they've sent over, really quality. And you know what? We just got the new one, BetterHelp. And I did my first, I've never done therapy in my life. I never thought about doing therapy. Maybe I was ignorant and think that I didn't need it or what have you. But I did like the first session last week, and I go, man, that was pretty nice. Like I felt like a burden was off of my shoulders, and a burden I didn't even know existed. And that was just one session. And, I got another one tomorrow, and I'm kind of excited to go on that journey and see maybe. And, it's funny as you actually came up in the sense of, I said, she was like, "What do you want to get out of this?" And I said, well, Booker T, who trains the wrestlers at the wrestling organization I train at, he says two things that I really like, and this is what I want to get. I want to learn that there's no wrong way to do something so long as you do it right, for myself. And I want to learn, not can I fix all my issues, but I just want you to give me the tools that I can put in my tool bag so I know when this situation occurs, I use this tool. And, I might not use it right all the time. I might forget to use it, but I know it's in the bag somewhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why I told her I went out of it. And so I really recommend that BetterHelp. It's really nice, man. It's really great. But all the sponsors are great.
So that is. Now we don't have to get that question anymore.
No more comment on it. Now we know. You know what I mean? And look, Turfa says AG1 is the truth. I still drink coffee with it, though. Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Seriously, man. We ain't just pushing stuff unless we be pushing it up. But seriously, but like I say, it helps us to do what we do. This is a place that Brad and I we've been trying to get for a long time, as far as being the go-to, as far as this journalistic world we're in right now. And it's crazy how now AEW, just say for instance, AEW come to town, who they gonna call?
They call the show.
They're gonna call the show, and they're gonna get. Last time they came to town, they got Mark Henry in. We definitely gave Mark Henry some props. We gave AEW some props when WWE come to town. Of course, we're gonna have some guests on here as well, talking about the show and whatnot. So it's pretty cool for when shows come to town, not just wrestling, boxing, MMA, whatever. The Hall of Fame gets first dibs. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we appreciate the worldwide audience that we have, and we always love our local Houston, Texas listeners on ESPN 975, 925. BT, though, what were your big takeaways from NXT Deadline, other than your run-in with CM Punk in catering? You should have really blown it up, though, like with Corey. You know what I mean? You should have, there should have been an article that came out, backstage altercation at NXT Deadline.
I thought about it, but
we needed maybe a picture of you grabbing him, knocking the catering out of his hand.
You're calling him, right? Nah, man, I didn't want to do that like that. I just didn't want to give anybody any extra ammo or anything like that, or to think that it was anything other than an encounter with CM Punk, man. And me personally, I must say, and I'm not just saying this, I'm kind of glad to see CM Punk back.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
Well, because, man, you know that saying that I have all the time. When you're 99%, you might want to keep your mouth shut. When you're 100%, you're going to go ahead and speak it. He might have been at that 99% perspective and just went on there and just said what he felt like he needed to say for whatever reasons, whatnot. Things turned out the way they did, and sometimes you can look back and say, man, I screwed up. I did that all wrong. It's easy. I mean, it's easy to man up sometime and say, man, I don't know what the conversation was between Hunter and him. I don't know, but I can imagine that it was some wrong on both ends.
Sure.
And it take a man to be able to admit that. Take a man to be able to admit, man, I was wrong. And the thing is, I've had guys come to reality wrestling, and they've gotten kicked out. They come back and say, man, I screwed up. Can I get back in? We let them back in. They screw up again. That's another story. You know what I mean? But being a man and being able to man up and say, hey, man, I screwed up. Look, I'm not saying that's what happened at all. But I can imagine. I can only imagine how the conversation went.
Yeah. I'm sure that there was honest. It's got to be honest conversation. But that's also the benefit of time, right? Benefit of time, hindsight's 20/20 is what they say, and you can look back and be like, oh man, you know what? I wish I would have handled that a little bit better. But if you believe that God's got your steps ordered for you, you'll run by that person again, and you'll have the opportunity to make amends or not. You know what I mean? Or not, or just sometimes if somebody shows you who they are, you believe them, right? But also people do change, and I think Triple H said that in the press conference. He said, if you're the same guy 10 years after the fact that you were 10 years ago, if you're the same guy, there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
You should be evolving. You should be changing.
Bro, and I say that because I had a buddy. I haven't talked to him in about, I don't know, maybe 15 years now. And he was my boy, man. We was like road dogs. We used to hang out the club together and whatnot. And as we were getting older, I'm like, life was changing, and I'm like, the club wasn't as important to me. And bro was still going hard, 44, 45, 46, 50. And I'm like, I don't know where he's at now. I can imagine he's still going. But it's like, bro, when are you gonna grow up? I mean, you gotta, change your lifestyle sooner or later. This ain't going to work out. Just say, for instance, when you're 50 and 60, come on. You know what I mean? So life is truly about evolving. And I'm glad I've evolved over my years. And I'm sure over Punk's last, 10 years being away from the company, I'm sure he's evolved. No matter what, I'm sure he's evolved.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's you grow or you die, right?
I think that way.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's definitely, like I said, man, I want the chat to weigh in on it. Do y'all feel like he seems like a different human being? Like he just feels like a different person? I'd like to know what the chat.
Wouldn't necessarily say a different human being.
Well, he just seems different. How about that? He just seems different.
It seems like he's in a different space.
Yes. There you go. Better word.
And the thing is, he said it himself, working with kids. And the thing is, when you really, really look at it, it really it's a lot of young guys over there. I wouldn't necessarily call them kids. You know what I mean? They're grown men. They have kids, a lot of them. But when you look at it from his perspective, being in his 40s, working with guys in their 20s, to him, they're kids. So I get it. I see it. I totally understand it. And being in the WWE, a lot of the guys are seasoned veterans. They've been around the business just as long as he has. There's a different kind of respect there, I would imagine. We got to take a break, guys. You in the Hall of Fame, baby. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, what's up? This Booker T, and winter is here, and you know what that means, trying to stay comfortable while you sleep. Well, I've got something exciting for you.
That's right, Book. We've recently discovered a game changer for a good night's sleep. It's called Miracle Made, and it has its new product, the silver-infused bed sheets inspired by NASA.
Yeah, these sheets are no ordinary sheets, guys. They've got self-cooling properties that keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, thanks to NASA-inspired technology.
And here's the kicker. They're self-cleaning too. Infused with silver, these sheets prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them fresh and clean 3 times longer than regular sheets. So that means no more gross odors. Plus, they're all about comfort and quality. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the crazy price tag of other luxury brands. Trust me, Book, they feel as nice, if not nicer, than the sheets used by some 5-star hotel.
And just in time for the holidays, guys, these Miracle Sheets make perfect gift for your loved one. And who doesn't want better sleep and luxurious bed sheets? And guess what, guys? You get 3 free towels with your purchase. But wait, there's more. These sheets are designed with your skin in mind. No more sleeping on bacteria that can clog your pores. You don't want that. Sleep clean with Miracle.
Yeah, so here's the deal, listeners. Go to TryMiracle.com/Booker to try it today or gift it to someone special this holiday season. And guess what? You will save over 40%.
Do it! And don't forget, guys, if you use the promo code at your checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and an extra 20% off.
And if that wasn't great, here's the best part. Miracle stands behind their product with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied, you will get a full refund from Miracle Made.
Hey guys, upgrade with Miracle Made. Go to TryMiracle.com/Booker and use the promo code Booker and claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. TryMiracle.com/Booker. Treat yourself or a loved one this holiday season to a gift of better sleep. Don't wait. Try Miracle Made today. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. I see a question in the chat there. I might have to just go and research it. It's about Ahmed Johnson. Say Ahmed Johnson challenged me to a fight, but I had to go and kind of look it up. I didn't see all of it, but there again, I'm not going to respond to Ahmed Johnson because we already know about Ahmed Johnson. He's a lying, notorious, low-down piece of you know what. Anything that comes out of his mouth, you might want to take it with more than a grain of salt. And that's that.
Well, there you go. Okay. I did not see this story, but you know what? You've said everything you need to say on it, apparently.
Yes, yes.
You said, and the chat is familiar now with your characterization of Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
Or Mr. Norris, as
Yeah,
it were.
Tony Norris. That's my bad. My bad. I got it wrong.
I mean, I'm just, that's his name. Anyway, when we talked about NXT, I do want to talk about NXT Deadline. Just kind of what was your opinion of the show and what stood out to you? What did you like? What did you not like? I mean, just give me your rundown.
I tell you, man, Bridgeport, Connecticut, Total Mortgage Arena. It was off the chain, man. I got there early because I flew in. I had an early flight. And I landed in LaGuardia, so I went straight from LaGuardia straight to the arena. And I got there probably maybe noon, maybe a little bit earlier. And I had to be there all day. And I tell you, man, I don't know, it was something in the air that day because the time flew by crazy. And next thing you know, we're starting the show. And but it was an awesome show, man. Everybody from top to bottom went out there and worked it. And the thing that you was talking about, like how they put some of those matches together, like the Iron Survivor, men and women. The women, of course, with Davenport. It was kind of the match was great. The finish kind of like caught me off guard a little bit, you know what I mean? Because it was almost like she was escaped, but she's a heel. She's a heel. The men's with Trick Williams, man, the way the clock was set, the way he was down the whole time and not having any points on the board, and then boom, 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 and then boom to win the thing. It was awesome. It was awesome because I was like, wow. But the show was top notch, man. The guys worked their asses off. Ilya Dragunov, Baron Corbin. What a match. Those guys went out there and left everything in the middle of that ring. I got high praise for that kid, Ilya Dragunov. He is truly, truly that good. Dominic Mysterio, Dragon Lee, totally unexpected outcome for me just because I'm really, really high on Dom. I thought we could run with Dom for another 6 months. That's just the way I felt about it, honestly.
If not longer.
That's how much he brought to NXT, and I know that's not his. Aspirations, just to be in NXT. I know he want to do big things on the main roster, but I just felt like, man, we had a diamond working with Dom for those months that we had him, and he just brought so much to NXT. But now Dragon Lee appears to be back in NXT. We thought we had lost Dragon Lee to the main roster. Now we got Dragon Lee back in NXT, and the one thing that eluded Dragon Lee in NXT was the NXT championship. Well, the North American championship, a championship rather. And now he's going to be able to come back and represent. So I'm kind of happy about that as well.
Yeah, Dragon Lee, it did seem like he was just main roster bound, right? But I also think with what NXT's been doing lately and the way that, I think Nick Khan and Triple H have this vision, and Sean for that matter, is it's not such a barrier anymore between the main roster and NXT. You're seeing all those guys jump back and forth. So just because you lose somebody, like say when a Tiffany Stratton might get called up, it doesn't mean that Tiffany Stratton's not going to be back in NXT at some point, or work both shows for a while like Dom did.
Yeah, but I just think I don't think it should be that way. Actually, I think being able to rotate guys from the main roster back and forth, whatnot. I think once you get away from NXT, your aspirations are put yourself in position to where you're not one of the ones that's chosen to go back to NXT unless you are that over to where they need you back in NXT. That's just my thing on that. It's like, and the reason I say that is I was one of those guys that I always wanted to work either SmackDown or Raw. I never wanted to be on Superstars. Okay, I never wanted to be on Superstars. I thought I had graduated from Superstars, but I remember Vince coming to me one day and he goes, "Hey, Book, I need you to work on Superstars this week because we need some power. We need a rating. We need some star power." So I was like, "Cool, I'm down for that." So I felt like when Seth Rollins come back and work. He's got some star power to come back and bring to the show. Dominic, we didn't know how much star power he was going to bring to the show, but I tell you, bang, he showed how big of a star he was and what he brought to it. So that's just my feeling on that. Once you move from NXT, you should be thinking about main roster and main roster only.
I understand that. I understand that too. But going back to the Iron Survivor, did you hear the Iron Survivor being Trick Williams? Did you hear that he has said the thing that I said on this show? He said he wants the ad libs and the chant in his theme music. Did you hear him? He said this in an interview. He wants them in the music, embedded within the music. Because here's the thing: Trick's going to go to main roster. It's a matter of not if, but when, right? It could be a year from now. It could be 2 years from now. It could be 2 weeks from now. We don't know. But when he goes to the main roster, you think Wade is going to carry those ad libs? You think Byron or Michael Cole, or Corey? I'm not trying to throw any shade or anything, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, man, look here. They can call me and I drop some lyrics for them. I drop them in. I fly them in. They know that I could do some audio and just send it to them, whatever they need. You know what I mean? I'm all about Trick Williams. I was glad to see that kid win. I didn't think he was going to win. I didn't know I tried not to know the finishes or anything like that, just so I can feel the excitement in the room, just like everybody else. But when he did win it, I was like, oh, man, you got to be kidding. They got me on that one. They literally got me on that one right there. So for that kid to be doing as well as he's doing, he's one of my guys. He's sitting on the learning tree on a weekly basis. Even when Trick is not on the show, he'll show up and hang out with me and just, kick it, get a little bit of advice, talk about it, certain little bitty things. And for me, I appreciate that much more than he does. Honestly, I get so much more out of that than he actually honestly would imagine. Being able to kick it with the young guys that respect me and what I've done, and literally trusting me to guide them the right way. That right there. That's everything for me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Well, it's a big reason I think too why you're down there in a lot of ways, right? I don't know how the decision was made, but I'm sure knowing what Shawn Michaels said about you before and knowing, just what you've been able to do in your career, seeing you, he could see that roster benefiting from you and more just being a commentator. Not saying that they haven't. Obviously, they've benefited greatly from that broadcast that you and Vic bring, but also just being there, having that presence, having that extra set of eyes.
Yeah, definitely. Always, when I talk with these young guys and I give them advice, because I know how young people are, because I was young once myself. And sometimes when you're young, somebody come to try to give you some advice before you even, take the advice. You've already thought about it going in one ear and out the other. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm just glad that I'm one of those guys that's in a position that have done it at a very, very high level. And I've done it all. I've seen it all. And when I give you some advice, I don't have anything to gain from it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm not doing any of this for me. I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to steal your spot or or something like that, which, I get. And a lot of times I won't say anything unless they come and ask me, because I don't want, them. I don't want them to think that I'm, just, wanting to, browbeat them or give them some advice. My thing is, if you don't want it, you're not going to ask for it. And those young guys, young girls, I mean, NXT, they pick my brain like crazy. They always want to know, hey, what did I think about their match? What can they do better? And sometimes, like with an Ilya Dragunov, he asked me, what you see out there tonight? And I'm like, man, I didn't see nothing. Like if I would have saw something, it would have stuck out like a sore thumb, But I appreciate someone like him who is as good as he is, still want to get better, and he honestly know that if I tell him something, it's going to be a true fact from the heart and for his benefit. That's what I appreciate more than anything. Work with all of them. That's what I appreciate. Tiffany, same thing. I remember giving her one bit of advice when I first started talking to her, and she does it now every single time. And I'm not going to even say what it is.
Don't.
But,
Yeah.
no, but she's unbelievable talent as well. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a momento. Can you dig it, sucker? All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
And guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section and row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, Book.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price guaranteed. Oh, yes. Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Just chopping it up, talking a little NXT action. Deadline went down. Bridgeport, Connecticut, Total Mortgage Arena this past Saturday night. And I tell you, man, it was cold. It was cold down there. It was cold. And it was raining. It was raining like crazy too in New York. But I must give props though. Let me give props to New York. Just New York in general, because they got LaGuardia Airport.
Beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful.
Man, they got that. I mean, they got that airport right. I mean, it's so easy to get around and get to your gate and whatnot now. It seems like a light years from just 5 years ago. That airport, unbelievable, man. So big ups, man, for getting that airport right.
Yeah, I remember going through LaGuardia one time where like they had wires hanging down from the ceiling.
Oh,
you know what I mean, and alarms going off.
Big rat run by, anything. It was third world like at LaGuardia Airport. I don't know why, because you go a few miles down the road to Kennedy and it was nice.
Kennedy's nice, yeah. But now LaGuardia, the primo.
Oh yeah.
Yo, you fly. I mean, Newark's a good airport, but Newark's so far. You know what I mean? So you fly into that LaGuardia, that LGA. Yeah. I got real excited because when I was there, we flew in on Newark, and then I thought we were flying out on Newark. And when I saw those three letters LGA when they popped up on the ticket, I said, "Oh yeah, this is 10 minutes down the road. We're all right."
Serious, man. It's nice in there, man. Like I say, Kennedy, I used to always love going there because got a nice sushi spot there. I used to always go to. And I was like, man, why LaGuardia can't be like this? But now LaGuardia got all the nice shops and everything. Oh, they used to have like a little coffee shops, and little bagels. And I used to be like, man, what the hell is going on here? And you had to get your own coffee. You know, it's one of those type of deals. You know, so it's crazy, man. What a difference a day, man.
Now let me ask you two more things on NXT Deadline, and then we'll get to all of our super chats because I know we just have this segment and next left. When you saw Roxanne, the prodigy, step into the cage, Kiana James, what was your assessment of that? Because I know you're critical on cage matches, you're critical on your own students. You always look for ways that they can do better. Did you enjoy sitting there and watching Roxanne and Kiana mix it up at Deadline?
You know, it wasn't a bad match or anything like that. It really wasn't a bad match on the card, but that match, I don't know if it needs to be held in a cage, honestly. Um, with the time they had, just thinking about for a second. When from now on, every time I'm thinking about a cage match, I'm thinking about Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus.
I know.
All right, so it's going to be hard to top that for me when I watch anybody in the cage match, especially the women now. Okay, because it's a really really high bar. Um, you could see the pain and the anguish in the fight and the raw grit with Becky and Trish, to the point to where Trish had a big knot on her head, so big. And then they utilized that cage every way we didn't think that they would utilize it, especially Trish Stratus. I didn't think she would utilize the cage the way they did. And then when I see two youngsters, go in there and not give me that, and I compared it to Matty Ice and Ed Stone, two of our guys at Reality Wrestling. I say, man, if you guys can't go out and really break it, you shouldn't really be in a cage. And then they had a lot of time to be able to pull that match also. So I think that match, it was kind of slow. It drug just a little bit, just because of not utilizing the cage the way perhaps, it could have been used.
Okay, fair enough. Look, that's honest, fair feedback. People who are still putting it all together. Now, let me ask you on the other side. Speaking of the women, we talked about the Iron Survivor. We talked about the cage match. What'd you think about Cora Jade coming back? And now we're seeing Cora after she's been gone for quite some time, it feels like, from the limelight. And now she's back and in a big way, looking to make a difference. Do you enjoy seeing Cora back on the show?
I mean, the thing with Cora is, you could tell she's a star. All right, you could tell she's going to be a player in the business. Even once you get to the main roster, there's something about Cora that just stands out. She's different than most of the girls on the roster. She reminds me of AJ Lee so much. You know what I mean? She really does. She reminds me of, that firecracker that was just, herself and, unapologetic, and I'm gonna go out and do it like this, whether you like it or not, like type girl. So I'm glad Cora's back, because she's always been one of my favorite. I was what, of course, everybody needs to work on certain things, and I can't wait to get her under my tutelage a little bit, and get her on a film study one day and work with her, because she does a lot of things so well, but it's always certain things you can work on.
Yeah, always room for improvement, right?
Yeah.
I was excited to see her back, because I always thought that like you said, some people have that it quality and it's hard to define what it is, but Cora Jade felt like she's got something there that needs to be further explored. And now that she's had this time to R&R and be off the show for a little bit, I think people are excited to see her back and see what happens. And now my final question about NXT Deadline: what did you think of Lexis King and Carmelo Hayes?
Lexis, I thought it was a pretty good match.
Me too.
I thought Lexis King did pretty good. He's taking my advice. He looked like he lost at least 2 to 3 pounds. Okay? That right there, first and foremost, he looked a little trimmer around the waistline. Probably got 6 to 8 more to go. I said 8 pounds, but I'm changing that now to 8 to 10 pounds to 12. Okay. But no, I see a lot in Lexis. I think in NXT he can grow. He really can grow in NXT. And me personally, he's another. It's crazy. He's another one of my guys that I try to get into his head, because I want to see him succeed. That's all. I want to see Lexis King succeed, because not just because of his legacy or anything like that. It's because I want to see all of these young guys succeed. It's all it is, man. And he's one of the guys that seem to want advice. He's one of the kids who seem like, he needs someone to go to and ask, what did you see right there? And then we can look at it and go, hey man, don't do this ever again. Try doing it this way, and let's go work on it, doing it that way. And then let's see how better it feels than when you just did it like that. So a light bulb can go off in your head, So for me, I love, what Lexus King is doing. I love the name change. It gives me a lot to work with, being able to still talk about his dad, the difference between him and his dad, and the similarities between him and his dad at the same time. So I like it a lot. Yeah. Good match.
Okay.
Good match. Yeah, good match.
Yeah, I thought that, Lexus, he's got a lot of eyes on him.
Yeah.
He really does. A lot of people want to know what he's going to do, and I feel like he showed up on Saturday night. You ready for a couple super chats, though?
Spit them up, man.
All right, here's our first. Oh, wrong button. Here's our first super chat of the day, and it comes from, my board's messing with me.
Super chat.
Perfect. Looking forward to Gunther versus Brock at WrestleMania. Lesnar cost Gunther that IC title. Also curses to the Texans defense this weekend. Terrible. Yeah, man, that was a hard game to watch. It was a hard game to watch, but we're allowed one a season. You know what I mean? We can't ball out every game.
We give the kid the rookie of the year. All right. Let's just be happy with that.
I want more.
But Brock, Gunther, on another note, that's a man's matchup right there. Anybody that love this business and love wrestling, that they should want to see that matchup right there. That one right there, it's a main event anywhere in the world. Whether it's going to be the main event, it's got to be close to the main event on night, maybe night one main event. But
I don't know.
What?
I don't think so, because CM Punk said on SmackDown his mission back in WWE is to main event WrestleMania.
Well, he better get in line. Because
you got Roman Cody maybe at one night. I want to see that match. Maybe Punk Seth. I don't know.
Look here, this is a big match. Gunther and Brock.
That'd be huge.
Look here, that's like two heavyweight boxers, bro. You cannot, undermine that match thinking that it's not going to be the biggest thing on the card. It's going to be the biggest thing people want to see. It's not going to be like any match on the card. It's not going to be. It's not going to be no playing, no jumping, no diving. It's going to be. Oh my God! I can only imagine how that thing is going to turn out. But then again, Brock has been like a wizard as far as being able to going out and pulling that off. So I want to see that. I want to see how Brock, what Brock's going to conjure up in his head to go out there and make you guys buy into that, just like he's done with everybody else that he's going out there and work with. We know the in-ring prowess of Gunther. We know what Gunther goes out and do, and that just beat people up. So for me, that's a main event match anywhere in the world. We got to take a break. We'll come back with Super Channel. Stick around, y'all. We'll be back in a minute.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program for an important public service announcement.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. This is something more essential, a revolutionary ball trimmer that has landed right here from the future.
That's right. Manscaped has been working overtime to upgrade your below-the-waist grooming experience with their cutting-edge Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra.
Let's cut to the chase. Every man out there knows the fear of going in for a close shave in those most sensitive areas.
Yeah, we've been there, Book, but fear no more. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is the hero that you deserve, featuring not one, but two interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads.
This isn't just your standard grooming. It gives that super smooth finish with a new foil blade your heart desires, and Manscaped delivers.
And it does not stop there. With dual LED spotlights, you can navigate the darkest of regions with precision regardless of your skin tone.
And they thought of everything, man. 3-length setting comb, and guess what, my man? This bad boy is waterproof.
That's right, Booker. Trim with confidence in or out of the shower. The Lawnmower 5.0 trimmer helps reduce nicks, the risk of ingrown hairs, and those dreaded grooming accidents.
And because we've got your back, man, get 20% off free shipping with the code, Booker T at manscaped.com.
Just think about it. 20% off free shipping at manscaped.com with the code Booker T. High-tech grooming for your low places.
Look, man, from a personal experience, this isn't just a ball trimmer. It's like a spaceship for your man parts. Smooth, efficient, and it takes care of B.I.itness, dog.
Remember, we're keeping it real with you all. We partnered up with Manscaped because we believe in the product. They hooked us up and we're passing that on to you.
So, gentlemen, upgrade your grooming game, man, and visit manscaped.com. And don't forget to use the promo code BookerD for your exclusive deal. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I'm working on all our super chatters right now, and I know we got a few of them, so we only got a little time. So, Brad, let's roll with it, man.
Let's go to the next one.
Super chat.
What? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I like it.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Shout out to our Ringside News who sent that.
Crazy how something just catch on, right? That's the wrestling business. You know, you never know when something's going to catch on. And that night, I was just having some fun with Trick Williams. I swear to God. Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, hey, we got our man, Kelly Toenail. Who you with?
And if you find the tenderoni that is right for you.
Callie says, what brand would benefit most from Punk? It's obvious him and Seth might handle a little biz, but I'd rather see him go after Roman. Where would you put him?
Yeah, you know, I really never thought about it as far as what I want him on Raw, SmackDown. You know, Raw has always been that flagship show, but you know, the more eyes right now on SmackDown because they're on, you know, Fox. You know, so I don't know. That's hard to. What do you think, Brett?
I feel like this is what I think. Look, and I'm forecasting in the future, but I feel like it's going to be Cody and Roman too at WrestleMania. That's just the feel I get. And so if that's the case, that handles our SmackDown side of things. Cody's going to be on that show more. So I feel like Punk stays on Raw, you know, and plus SmackDown just got Randy Orton, you know, as a permanent fixture over there.
Yeah.
So, and they got Kevin Owens. So I feel like the star power might be needed on Monday Night Raw with CM Punk, especially if him and Seth are going to be, you know, clashing.
Yeah.
Seth, by the way, was on the Sports Illustrated podcast this week, and I don't know if he's working or shoot. I don't know what he's doing, but he did not say nice things.
No, but let's look at it like this also, though. You remember Fox really wanted CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we was doing backstage.
Right.
Now they got him, you know, and don't even have to put up any money to, you know, to get him there.
But also SmackDown's leaving Fox next year, right?
That might be a talking point.
Okay.
You know, we got CM Punk back. We might want to stay on Fox now. You know, I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. You know, you never know, but let's move on.
Let's move on. We got our next one. This comes from
Super
Breezy Bags. I don't think he's ever chatted before. So what up, Breezy? I think CM Punk really put some flavor on NXT. It wouldn't be a bad match to have him back for a few matches, maybe an NXT title run.
No, that would not be good. I'm not saying
don't be a flip flopper.
Look, not saying that it wouldn't be good, you know, for CM Punk NXT. But my thing is this: CM Punk is back for bigger fish to fry. He's not back to come to NXT. Right. But if he was to come back and do something in NXT like he just did, which is really, really cool. But no, CM Punk is back to work in the main event picture and be the main event at WrestleMania, if not this year, next year, whatever. That's the ultimate goal, I would imagine, because that should be the ultimate goal for every young wrestler that get in this business that's in the WWE anyway. They should be reaching for that brass ring, and that brass ring is to work on WrestleMania, hopefully one day work in the main event at WrestleMania, because it doesn't get any bigger than that, bottom line.
Facts. Alex Cosentino says, how did you come up with your moveset? Sidewalk slam, spine buster, etc., and that sweet little schoolboy rollover pin in the corner?
You know, the victory roll in the corner, I just was messing around. I saw how guys would do it where they would just sit up on the turnbuckle and and do that and roll through it. It looked pretty cool, but I was like, man, I could do that a little cooler than that. And so I just started perfecting the up and over one arm, roll through it. It was, oh man, it was sweet. It was actually one of my finishers in the beginning of my career. Sidekick was just something I was experimenting with because I didn't want to do a clothesline like everybody else. So I said, I want to do a clothesline with my leg. Spine buster, and float over was, I used to see guys do the, sidewalk slam, but they didn't have, that extra pop with it, so to do it and then go down with the guy, it almost, just looked like he was, oh man. But a lot of things, scissor kick. I saw a movie called The Best of the Best with, what's his name? Eric Roberts. He's one of the stars in that movie. And I picked that move up. So a lot of it was just when you're watching stuff, trying to figure out how to be different than everybody else, because every move has been taken in wrestling. You got to try to create.
Yeah. And you got to add your own little flair.
Yeah. Pat Tanaka, I give Pat Tanaka that flying forearm. That's where I stole that from. Big ups to Pat Tanaka. He used to do that, but I put a little twist on it and made it my own. But man, Pat Tanaka was so freaking good. Man, watching him was one of my highlights.
Well, let's move on to our next one. It says repause order. We know Booker T is retired technically, but can we see King Booker make his Raw debut in 2024?
No. We're going to be doing a whole lot of stuff in 2024 at Reality Wrestling. I promise you that. Get ready. I'm serious. Get ready. And we're going to be dropping some news on you here real soon on that. But as far as my days in wrestling, I'm really trying to put those days behind me. I'm a boss now, man. I'm a boss. You know what I mean? I got a small little wrestling company down here in Houston, Texas. We work real hard for our performance. I'm doing my thing on NXT, doing signings and having fun and going out and meeting fans all around the world. I have no desire, actually, to have no itch to scratch in the ring anymore. But I appreciate you. I look here. I'm ready.
Look at him.
Just in
Look
case.
at him.
Just in case. Post that. All right. Tell me else to do that.
Our next one comes from D'Angelo Brown. Thoughts on WWE and Ken Shamrock? I guess they reached a Legends deal.
Man, that's great, man.
That is great. I did see something about that.
It's great Ken Shamrock got a Legend deal because he is truly one of the WWE legends. He brought something to WWE from the mixed martial art world, and it was real. And Ken did a damn good job while he was a part of WWE. And for him to be on the video games and all of that stuff, it's cool. It's something, you know what? Put his name in for the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
He's got to go.
Put his name in.
Do you know what I was thinking about with Ken Shamrock? Like, even if you were a Shamrock fan, right? Or you're like, oh, what did Ken Shamrock ever do? Which we know he did a lot. But he brought the tap out to wrestling, right? Yeah. I mean, he brought the tap out.
Yeah.
He helped usher in a new finish to a match.
Yeah. I think Kurt Angle actually stole it, right?
Yeah, the ankle lock. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Right. But it's just cool that he brought in, a facet of, like you said, the MMA game.
I mean, he's always been a big WWE fan. You've never heard him say anything stupid about the company other than, man, why am I not getting in? You know what I mean? Why am I not getting a piece of the action? And I appreciate it. Whoever gave Ken Shamrock the nod to get in, he deserves it. He deserves
1,000%.
He deserves it. Some people deserve it. Some people deserve it, and some people never deserve to get in.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. you know better than I do. Let's see. I believe we have one more, and we have about time for one more here. Oh no, we got two more. This is NXT Live need to sell beer. H2O won't cut it. Okay.
They didn't have any beer in the arena and total mortgage rate?
Maybe not.
Are you talking about just at the Live arena? You might be right. Well, come to Reality Wrestling.
There's beer there, damn it.
We'll get you a cold one.
And our final super chat today, my screen jumped off on me, comes from Virgil Dawkins. Says, hey, Book, it feels like since CM Punk and Randy Orton came back that LA Knight is losing momentum. I'm afraid he won't get a title run anytime soon.
Hey, man, that's the way the old mop flops sometime. But me personally, I said, we need to pull the trigger on LA Knight. We need to do it quick. I'm sure all of this stuff, like with CM Punk, unfolded rather quickly. Him getting back in the game. Randy Orton, we've been anticipating Randy's return for quite some time, so that wasn't a surprise or anything. But having more than one person to compete with at one time, it could be rather, it could shake up everything. So you might be right on that. But hopefully, LA Knight can hold his own. Yeah, let me talk to you, and stay right there in the middle of the game. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping anyway.
Hey, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens to LA Knight. I'm still a fan of LA Knight. I think the people are still behind him. Yes, they're on CM Punk. Yes, they're on Randy, and they should be. But there's WrestleMania is 2 nights, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be enough, to go around as far as WrestleMania go. And one thing about that night, you just want to get on the card. You may not be in the main event. You just want to get on the card. And I do see LA Knight being a huge player for WrestleMania night 1 or night 2. He's got to be, no doubt. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, but that wraps it up for our super chats this week, BT.
All right, cool, man. We got to raise up out of here, man. I got to get some work done because I got to get to NXT tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in to NXT tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of action going down. Breakout tournament for the men right now, getting started tomorrow. And we got a lot of new faces, man. So I'm going to have to do a lot of studying tonight, a lot of writing, because I don't know none of these guys.
Well, you know what? They need to make you know them.
Well, they better bring their best. I think we got 2 or 3 matches tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be on. I can't wait. But right now, we got to get up out of here. I want to thank you, Bradley, for everything you do, all the super chatters, everybody in the chat, man, for the questions. We appreciate you. But right now, we out of here. Peace. We love. We out.
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What lucky to talk to me, funny lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat, Brad Gilmore.
And we're so excited to welcome him to the show. We're talking about the WWE Live Holiday Tour coming to the Toyota Center on December the 28th. The tickets available on WWE.com. This guest, man, he's the host of the Grayson Waller Effect. You saw him tear things up in NXT. Now he's making his name on SmackDown. Grayson Waller, welcome to the show, man.
Man, thank you for having me. If you need any tips on hosting duties, you've got a great voice for it. Face is struggling a bit, but that's okay. We're not all blessed. But if you need any tips, I'm here to help.
Well, you know what? I really wanted to bring you here to ask you if you just wanted to take the show over from now on. I mean, maybe we could switch roles. I could get in the ring and you could be the host of this show.
Look, I'm tempted, but I've seen the girls in Houston, and I'm happy to stay where I am at the moment. But I appreciate the thought. Thank you.
Well, you wish they all could be like the Aussies back home, I'm sure. Now, talk to me though about going on the road, man, and hitting towns like Texas during the holidays and living that life, because I think people don't understand what professional athletes, sports entertainers really put their bodies through, even in the road schedule.
Yeah, it's wild getting called up onto the main roster earlier this year. You know, I was staying in Florida every night. I was in my bed every night for all the shows and NXT type of thing. So now that we're on the road, it's a little bit different, but it's cool. You know, I get to see a bunch of places I've never been before, and especially with the holidays, I'm not going to be home. I'm not going to be with my family, that type of thing. So where else would you rather be than the holiday tour? And I've heard so many great things from the other superstars talking about this tour, about how fun it is. Obviously, during the holidays, everyone's in a good mood. Everyone wants to enjoy themselves, and I know these holiday tours are a lot of fun for the fans as well.
Talk about that moment where you did get the call that you're going to go to the main roster. I mean, down here in Houston, I work with Booker T. Booker T is the commentator over there on NXT, and he was saying at the time, man, I wish I had Grayson for longer down here at NXT. I really wanted to, work with him more and have that opportunity. But then it seems like as soon as he gets there, you win Iron Survivor, you have a couple matches for the title, and then boom, you're on SmackDown. Did you feel ready for that moment?
Yeah, honestly, I did feel ready with whatever was to come. If it was to stay in NXT for a few months, there's a lot of talent down there that I could have worked with. But I felt ready to go and felt like I'd kind of done my time in NXT. Obviously, my situation was a little bit strange because I actually broke my leg in my last NXT match. So for me personally, I didn't think I was going to get drafted because who's going to get drafted with a broken leg? But thankfully, I'm great with the talking, great with the talk show, that type of thing, and it's all worked out. But I was ready to go, and I think everyone's kind of seen since I have been up that was the case.
Now, when you talk about the Grayson Waller effect, and I'm not just saying this because you're here and I'm not trying to get on your good side, but man, it really gives me that nostalgic feel to where, Jericho had the highlight reel. And I know you've probably heard Piper and Piper's Pit a lot when people talk about you. Did you feel like, I don't know, a sense of a responsibility taking a talk show like that to the main roster and living up to what we saw in the past as fans?
Very much so, because I was always a fan of the talk shows when it came to the WWE, and obviously before I started mine, I watched a lot of like Piper's Pit and things like that to kind of get the vibe. And I think it's such an important part about what WWE does is those type of fun segments. So having it as like kind of how I debuted on the main roster too was a little bit daunting in a way because you're not debuting in a match, you're not debuting with these hype packages, all those type of things. The first thing people see of me is me hosting and kind of causing chaos with all their favorite superstars. So I know a lot of people to start off with didn't even know that I could wrestle. So that was a little bit of fun while I was healing. But it was daunting at first, but now it's just like it's the most fun. Like I'm in there with guys like Logan Paul, John Cena, like Cody Rhodes, like the biggest names, and getting to interact with them and that type of thing is a lot of fun.
Do you think that shows maybe the company has big plans for you having to rub shoulders? You had the Twitter feud with The Rock, and being in there with Edge, even working when when he was finishing up his run and things of that nature. That's a lot of trust, man.
Very much so, and especially early on too. For them to put me in there. But I think with NXT now, you have that connection with the main roster. So in NXT, I worked with AJ Styles, I worked with Gargano, I worked with Apollo Crews. Like I'd kind of already done some things with people from the main roster. So you can kind of earn your stripes down there and earn enough trust that when you come up now, they don't baby you on the main roster. They're not slowing you down. Like you can see with the Creeds now, even like as soon as you get to the main roster, NXT is supposed to get you ready for that. So I think they did put a lot of trust in me. Having my first match being Edge in Madison Square Garden, that's kind of wild. But I think all the times that they put that trust in me, I earned it.
Now, I'm sure people have asked you before, like, man, who are your influences growing up? Who did you watch? Who did you do that? And that's a great question. But what I really want to ask, and this is because we're not too far apart, I think, in age. So I want to ask, who was your guy on the video games? That's what I want to know. Like, who did you play on the game? Like when you put in whatever it was.
Oh,
okay,
No Mercy, on the game.
Whether it be, Here Comes the Pain, whatever the video game you were playing was, who was the character, who was the wrestler that you would choose?
The first one I remember using, so I can give you a bit more of a fun answer. I remember the first game I played was like, I think it was Attitude. So it would have been like Nintendo 64 version. But I used D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown was fun to use. That guy has a great moveset. He's got the fun frog splash. He has the sky high. Like he has that fun leg drop thing that he did where he just wobbled his head. Like for some reason, I don't know what it was, but on the video game, I was a huge D'Lo Brown guy.
D'Lo's great. I mean, and to me, I found myself mocking the way the guys would walk through the curtain into the ring, and D'Lo with the head shake was he a lot of charisma just when he came through the curtain, and that's kind of one of the keys of the business, right?
Very much so. You know, when you see D'Lo coming out, like it was always a lot of fun. And I think I was recently watching some stuff. He had the whole thing with the chest plate and all those type of things. Like D'Lo was a lot of fun. I don't know how his neck's going today. All that wobbling, man. He might have some surgery or something soon because that can't be good for you.
You know, there are a lot of things happening when you go into, Royal Rumble season, WrestleMania season's right around the corner. WrestleMania 40, a big show. I'm sure you have your eye on it. A lot of big names coming back. Obviously, CM Punk just came back to WWE after 10 years. Randy Orton's back. There's a lot of potential matchups you could see yourself having at WrestleMania with some top guys. Do you have your eye on anybody like, man, I can't wait to get that opportunity?
Definitely. And, I got to meet Punk for the first time last week. I'm not going to say anything else about that meeting. I know people have seen how I am online and those type of interactions. So I'm not going to give away how that interaction went. Same with Randy. I have met him briefly in the past. I got to meet him properly last week. And I think Grayson Waller is who he is. So maybe those interactions aren't as polite and as nice as maybe in other instances. But that's okay. I think the roster in WWE right now is stacked. Like from top to bottom, it's kind of crazy. Like when you look at the SmackDown roster, which I'm a part of, like you got Roman Reigns, who's the champion, and sometimes he's not even there, but those shows are still stacked. So for me personally, it's not about a person for WrestleMania 40. It's more about being on that card. I got to attend last year with the NXT. We're up in the box and watching it. And I told myself, I was sitting with Carmelo Hayes, who I'm working this week. At the time, we were kind of a little bit closer friends. And I said to him, like, this is us next year. And we both had that same vibe. So for me personally, it's all about getting on WrestleMania and being on that card. I don't care who's across from me type of thing. And doing it in Philly, I'm a big Eagles fan, like in Lincoln Financial. Like it's just like everything's happening for a reason right now. It's all working out pretty well.
Now, when you go back to your NXT days just for one moment, I think a lot of the times, like, the medium is the message. Who we get those lessons from is just as important as the lesson themselves. And I think having Shawn Michaels down there, who has done it at the high level in any part of this industry, whether it's talking about being an authority figure, being in the ring, being a part of a group, a tag team, a babyface, a heel, main event of WrestleMania, opening match of WrestleMania. He's done it all. Did you really soak in the things that he said, and do you feel like he helped guide you, where you are now?
Very much so. Like when people talk about NXT, especially lately, like NXT is getting a lot of props finally. Like I think it's been good for a while, but now people are finally starting to kind of get on the bandwagon. But that's because of Shawn. I know personally me and Shawn in the past haven't necessarily got along, but it is what it is. I can still show him the respect, and I see the investment that he has in the talent there. When you're someone that he sees something in, he's going to go in and he's going to do whatever it takes to help you out. And the right people down there are going to use him appropriately and get them to the main roster and get them to big things on the main roster. Like if you're down there and you're not using Shawn, you're an idiot. And I still remember me and Mello had a video session with Shawn earlier on, and he's straight to the point. He's blunt. Like there's no babying down there for when you with Shawn. He's going to tell you exactly what he thinks, and that's the guy to listen to. He's literally done it all. So if you're not going to Shawn for advice and you're not taking in any lessons from him, like you're not going to go anywhere.
Well, you will be here in Houston, Texas. The WWE Live Holiday Tour comes to the Toyota Center on December the 28th. What does Grayson Waller want to say to the people of Houston before they see you on that fair day?
Like, where else would you rather be? It's the holidays. You probably sat and ate at home with your family for 3 days. You need to get out of the house. You need to go do something. And like live wrestling, like especially WWE, there's nothing like it. Like it's fun to watch on TV, but when you're there live, it's a different thing. And I'm going to be there to put on performance. I haven't got my family here. I'm not really doing Christmas this year. So like, I want to go out and I want to fight some people, but I'm a little upset. I was looking at the thing. It's like $20 to get a ticket, $20 to see Grayson Waller. I'm a little bit offended. Like I feel that's not
higher?
much money. Yeah, I think the prices need to go. $20 to see Grayson Waller, that's a bit of a steal. So I'm going to have to talk to Santa. I know some kids are going to be asking for these tickets for Christmas.
Well, Grayson, we can't wait to see you, and we hope that the price of admission goes up just to see you, but we also want the whole family to be able to come out at the same time. So Grayson Waller, everybody, we appreciate you joining.
Legend. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
So great to talk to you both. Congratulations on a great movie.
Thank you.
I guess I want to start with this because I'm such a massive pro wrestling fan. So when I found out this movie was coming, I was very excited about it. But I wanted to ask the two of you, did y'all have any preconceived notions of pro wrestling and what it was and what it represented? And did those ideas change after going through this process of the movie? Maura, we can start with you.
I did have preconceived notions because I thought it was all fake. I didn't watch wrestling. I would watch Hulk Hogan with my little brother. It's not something that I experienced, but I did think it was all fake. And then doing the movie, I realized, there's a tremendous amount of training they have to go through and a tremendous amount of athleticism. I didn't know how physically demanding it was. I thought it was just a show. And there's a lot more to it than that, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to second Maura's answer too. I was a combat sports fan. And but my interest previously had been more boxing and MMA, and not that I wasn't a wrestling fan, but I had trained in the other sports and I hadn't trained as a wrestler. So the first thing I did when I got the part was just go to wrestling school. And what I discovered almost immediately was how difficult it is, the tremendous athleticism that's required, the technique that's required, the endurance that's required. And I came away with a profound respect and admiration, for the guys who do this professionally, because it's not easy. You got to have all those things that I just described, and then on top of that, you got to have the personality and the charisma and the imagination to be able to create a character, that's going to connect, with the wrestling fans. So, because if you don't have any of those qualities, if you're missing even one of them, you're not going to become a star in the world of professional wrestling. And so it was a real, education for me in that respect. And, to be very honest, it kind of made me a wrestling fan for life.
Okay, well, hey, we can always use more of them. We can always use more wrestling fans. But more, look, I'm from Texas, the Von Erichs. That story is you're born and bred with it here, especially if you're a wrestling fan. But as much as I knew about the Von Erichs, I didn't know a lot about Doris. I didn't know a lot about her at all. And watching the movie afterward, I felt like I wanted to see a whole story just about her and her life and her character. What is your idea of who she was as a person? Kind of what's your assessment of her?
I mean, there's not a lot of. I tried to do the research too, but she's just not in these documentaries. She was she was a little bit more a part of the show in real life than she was depicted in the movie, but it wasn't a whole lot to go on, except for her, everybody just talked about her faith. And that's, I guess, the thing that I leaned on, which was, how does this woman, this very stoic, how does she handle all of this pain and all of this loss? And it was her faith. So that's primarily what everybody says about her was her love of God and the church.
And then Holt, when you think about Fritz von Erich, I mean, again, I'm aware of him as a character, and knowing what I've seen in this movie and documentaries before, you have a sense of who he might be. But in your opinion, do you feel like Fritz von Erich loved being a father, or do you feel like Fritz loved having sons in order to have them reach a goal that perhaps he couldn't?
Yeah, this is, of course, the eternal question, about this particular guy. You'll hear people, say very negative things about Fritz, that he was controlling, even that he exploited family tragedies for his own commercial gain. That he pushed his sons so hard that that he's in some way responsible. Do you know what I mean, for the tragedies, for the drug abuse? I don't buy that argument. There was rampant drug abuse, in professional wrestling and in other businesses too. In the 1980s, you know what I mean? There was a cocaine epidemic. That you can't blame that on Fritz von Erich. Fritz was born in the 20s. Fritz never did cocaine in his life. Fritz wanted his sons to lift weights. He wanted them to be in shape because he knew that strength and that athleticism was something that was going to be required if they were going to be stars in the sport. But I think that he loved his sons and he loved his wife and he wanted his family to be as successful as it could possibly be. I think he's a legend. I think he's one of the most interesting characters in the history of professional wrestling. I think he created a dynasty in Texas, and the real tragedy, I mean, look, there was a lot of tragedy, but part of it is that dynasty was so short-lived. That moment in time in the 1980s when David and Kevin and Kerry were rock stars, who could fill Texas Stadium. It was a brief moment, and it was over almost before it began, and so it's very sad. But there was a lot of, you're a wrestling fan, so you'll understand what I say when I say there was a lot of tragedy that befell wrestlers in world-class championship wrestling. Gino Hernandez died, right? He had a terrible drug problem. Chris Adams died. You know what I mean? A very violent death. Bruiser Brody, was stabbed to death in San Juan by Jose Gonzalez. Are you going to blame all that on Fritz von Erich? I mean, at what point are we going to stop trying to suggest that everything that was wrong with professional wrestling in the 1980s was Fritz's fault? I just don't buy it. I mean, yes, he was controlling, and yes, he motivated his sons, to try, to become champions. And maybe he did push too hard sometimes. But, I'd rather have a father like that than a father who didn't care.
Well, a profound answer and a profound movie. I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you so much for sharing this story with everybody. We're both.
I have one thing to add, if I can. Yes. I got a subscription to ESPN Plus so I could watch those documentaries. So.
Yeah. So we'll be
there
seeing.
You go.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for your time.
You're welcome.
The Ed Milet Show showcases the greatest peak performers sharing their journey, knowledge, and thought leadership.
This is one of the all-time best pieces of advice ever given on the show.
Actor Rainn Wilson. The number one thing that psychologists point to with young people of why they are struggling so much in this mental health epidemic is they don't have resilience. So how do you build resilience if you don't understand suffering itself?
The Ed Milet Show is available on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Hi there. Sorry for the interruption, but are you enjoying this show on Google Podcasts? You should know that the Google Podcasts app is going away this spring. That's right, going away, gone as in no longer available. You can still enjoy this show elsewhere though. Try out Spotify or Amazon Music, or maybe TuneIn is more your style. Whatever app you switch to, be sure to follow so you never miss the next episode. And thanks for listening, wherever you listen.